Hey, about a year ago, I went to Korea and made a video about it. And about a year ago, I made the choice to study abroad there. So to many of you, this is probably a big surprise. I don't think I've made a public mention of this ever. So anybody who doesn't know me personally will definitely not expect this. I guess the first topic is probably why. I don't want to get too deep into it, but needless to say, I haven't been really enjoying college life. Strong reliance on interpersonal relationships. And I'm not good at that. Not at all. Especially when those need to be made through extreme drinking. Obviously not always. Of course, you'd find someone, if you tried, that had similar interests that didn't necessarily need to be found through the use of drinking. But as the most antisocial person I know, that's hard. And another thing I don't like is the heavy focus on academics the whole time, to the point where your mental health falls faster than my confidence in the video that I'm making. Overall, I'm kind of having a miserable time. So, I figured I needed a change. Even if temporary, it's in order for me to just figure out what the heck I'm doing. I'm well aware this makes me sound like Joe Study Abroad, where you go and you're like, your mind expands and you're like, you understand the meaning of life, and oh, you just don't get it because you have to study abroad to understand my life. And I'm also well aware that everything I just said is incredibly ironic given where I'm going. But hey, I'm not gonna have a typical experience there. I'm gonna be an exchange student, so that's different. In fact, I would hardly consider myself a student given my schedule. It's more like a really long vacation. Now, second thing on your mind probably is what the heck happened to this channel, man? It was summertime. It was supposed to be the time where you make videos. It's supposed to be the time where you have all the time in the world to make videos. Why did I not make a single video? Well, I'm not sure if you've noticed, I'm in a different place. This is my new area. The old basement is, I guess, forever gone. It is given to a new kid who will probably have a great experience there, and I'm happy for him. But because I've moved, I've not only had to adjust, I've also had to unpack things. I've had to buy new things, decorate, as you can see. I've been given the space to call my office or my area. And we've definitely done some work on it, that's for sure. Another thing I've been doing is trying to get freaking money. I've never worked a day in my life. And this summer, I wanted to change that because I not only needed money for me going to Korea, I also needed money for quite a big purchase I made recently for Korea still, but also for myself. So in order to get that money, I need a job. And in order to get a job, I need to go to places, do things, find a place I want to work at. There's this Korean restaurant near my area where I live now, and I decided I would try and work there because I knew someone who was working there but was going to leave to do another job, and he was going to vouch for me to the owners and say, hey, this guy, I know him, he's chill, and he can work here. He can do a good job. So we call back and forth, and they're like, yeah, you can come in whenever you're done with school. This is while I'm still at school, but when I come back, I do a day of training. Admittedly, goes a little south. I did forget to put something in someone's takeout order, and they left, and I realized too late. But they came back and they took it, and she was so nice. She didn't have any problem with it. She said she just really wanted to try what she didn't get, and it was fine. Hey, problem solved. And not to mention, the owner who was training me also did the same thing, except that person never came back. So actually, that one did not get remedied. Mine did. So if anything, I am not the screw up. Anyway, the day of training goes by. They say, hey, it was pretty good. We'll let you know your schedule for next week and all the stuff like that. And I'm like, and then I'm out hanging out with people. We're about to watch a movie. And we're talking about how I am getting this job and how I did the training yesterday and how it went. And then as I'm telling the story, I get a text from the owner, and they say that they're not going to take me. So I'm really confused. I don't know why. I mean, the only reason I could think was probably the mistake I made, and probably because I was a little bit stressed out. I looked a little stressed because it was my first job I've ever done. But you know, over time that gets fixed. And also, if they had someone training me who was like a regular employee instead of like the owner, and they had them helping me instead of the owner, and then the owner leaving to do other things, and then me being like not knowing what to do, then probably would have been fine. Those were the only things that I think maybe could have been the issue. So I was confused why they didn't need me, because they did need someone. My friend was gonna leave, so they needed someone to replace him. And so later I asked the guy I know who was working there, and he said he was told to come in a different day to see me, because I was going to be training there. But he never came in when I was doing my training. So I was wondering what the heck that was about. And he tells me that he gets there and it's a different guy. Another guy with the same name as me, same first name and last name, who then would also be Korean, applied to this place around the same time, and they thought he was me and I was him. So yeah, that happened. And then I got my money for the day of training I did, and I didn't get the chance to ask if they realized that I was actually not the other guy. I was yeah. It was like the most insane thing, I think. Like, you can't even call it racism, because they're Korean. Anyway, insane story aside, I got work for with freelance things with editing and videos and photos, photography, videography, editing, stuff like that. So that, you know, everything works out. I did get paid for these things as well. So, you know, I guess that was a learning experience. I don't know what the lesson was. Lesson to take away. Don't work for Koreans. I have beef with Korean restaurant owners. A similar story has happened to me before, when I also wanted to get a job at a different place, and that never worked out. I'm not gonna tell the story right now. I'm not gonna tell the story. What was I leading up to this for? Oh, my big purchase. I purchased a camera. I've wanted a camera for a while. I have always used my phone, but I've never liked it. Anytime I've ever used it, like, it's fine for what it is. It's a phone, it's easy to bring around, but quality-wise and utility-wise, I did not think it was enough. So I have always wanted a camera for so long, and I finally have one. This is the Sony A7C II, and I love it. So I will be vlogging my entire time in Korea. 4 months. That's a long time. You know, I've been doing all these things this summer. It has been a crazy hectic summer. Maybe one of the most hectic of my entire life. Probably the most hectic and most frustrating and most annoying summer, but also the most fun I've probably ever had. And I tried so hard to make at least one video this summer. And there were like 5 videos I started, never finished. I would start it, film it, record audio for it, start editing it, and then immediately think, this is absolute dog. Like the sweatiest, wettest pile of human dump. But that's honestly a personal issue of mine. I know that I keep telling myself this. The things I make, even if I think it's so absolute dog, people really like it for some reason. But for some reason, the goblin in my brain can't fathom the fact that I can just upload something that I think is subpar, and even something that is shorter. Why do I have to make everything so long? My mind goblin can't not be unmotivated when, you know, something just doesn't sit right. So then I would scrap it and I'd try to do another idea, and then cycle continues. Dormammu, I've come to bargain. Anyway, I'm going to be not doing that. And I'm going to be making vlogs. I'm very excited. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and some people can't even, like, some people can't even do this because they might not be able to do it because of their major. They might not have the money to do it. They might not have the ability. I am extremely lucky, and I want to take full advantage of this, but also take full advantage in showing the whole thing, not only for me to keep for the future, but also for people to see and kind of experience with me, for the people who can't go and do these things. I just invite all of you to watch, come along with me on my insane 4 months that I'm about to have, and yeah, see what happens. This will be quite the experience. Yeah, nothing will probably ever happen like this for me ever again. So I'm gonna do whatever I can to make the most of it. I am scared. I am quite scared. There's a lot of things to be scared about in Korea. Thankfully, they don't have guns. Well, like, I'm probably less likely to die there than I am here, which is pretty cool. Socially, it will be a struggle. But, we're gonna freaking figure that out, I guess. I think that's all. By the way, this is Fooly Cooly. And, yeah. I guess, going to Korea.
No. Don't make Matthew lift that sandbag.